Hi, this is Moritz. Apologies, last week completely packed, but when I saw the heroic effort of Moritz coming back with all the jet lag and building the webinar kind of target audience and all that, I saw that was great. Just added a little comment. And today I had a little bit more time, so I just wanted to hopefully add some value by sharing a bit of an input on a point of discussion that we had that I find super interesting. Okay. Um, Notes, okay, I had a bunch of notes, but in reality, I was struggling a little bit to make sense of it. It's a little bit too long, okay, but I thought that there was an important point when we look at the webinar. Okay, apologies, Moritz, please. I'm just a guest here, but I just added a little bit of points here when we mentioned the key areas where limited budget, of potential targets for the Mavic plus Flexor approach, having the tool, the guardrails through Mavic, and having the talent through Flexor. Okay, I was thinking, okay, out of this, what I see as highest potential, and please, this is a debate, just or correct me or pay no attention, but I think potentially the lack of expertise is the strongest factors. The fact of saying, okay, I don't have the team to actually make this work. I can't grow. I can't branch myself beyond my current customers. Then limited budget obviously has a big implication in terms of the moment you have budget, you'll be able to hire, but still you might have the challenge saying, well, I just don't know who to hire, and this is where Mavic plus Flexor really play a role of saying, hey, actually, I'll have the expertise and I'll have the guardrails. And then the constant flux, I will put this third in terms of importance, because it can happen that companies have that constant flux, but it's not as strong as demanding for the need to work with a tool like this, with a team plus tool like this. Okay. And then I brought it up, I started to play around with the, hey, does the pre-CMO venture back, for example, here, startup is the main target, actually have all the ticks? Does it tick all the boxes? Yes, it ticks all the boxes. Great. Does an SMB knack for expansion? Okay, it might not have the team churn, but that's the weakest one. And then, for example, I started to say, maybe we can work through a segmentation of this. And then I realized, okay, there's a long way to do it, which was through drop down saying, hey, do they have the expert? No, they don't have the expert. And I realized that a better way, or what I really wanted to do, was just basically have a bit of a heat map, or I thought could be valuable, and especially because you two have the expertise, and yes, you have the expertise of which companies you've been working with and which might be hotter pockets of interest. And Moritz, you've actually, the industry better than any of us in terms of, hey, these are where the needs, because if you combine both, you might find, okay, and I also this is my perspective, obviously right or wrong, but from our experience, actually it could be that e-commerce, I used e-commerce, which might not be the right one, but saying, hey, they're going to be earlier. They're going to need marketing capabilities, especially branding. Because I would say, from my point of view, Mavic delivers right now. It might be that the product roadmap has more on performance, but it delivers more on the branding side. It gives out those guardrails, it gives that system. Okay. And that might be earlier in an e-commerce, or for example, this is what could be interesting. If you think of a B2B SaaS, actually might be later. They're post Series A. Now they have the money. Now they have kind of, precisely because they have the money, but they don't have the expertise. Clearly, B2B is not as good. It's very good at sales. It's very aggressive on the engineering side, but not on the strategizing, the marketing, having branding. Are they, what I mean? So that could be an interesting area. Or for example, I made up here a corporate supplies or catering, might be that a certain mid-sized ones are like, hey, I need to be better at this. Okay. Because it's not only the branding, you can link it, be better, be much more structured, be much more logical. And then the agencies. This is just a little bit of an exercise. Thought could be good, because that way we can kind of map much more. Hey, this is the area. This is where I have the cases, and in this case could be that just saying, hey, I have three cases here that are super strong that can be leveraged in the webinar. And maybe then more saying, yeah, and actually I have experience talking to all these companies. Well, this is the core area. Just this is an example, okay? And then another point that I looked at this, please, Moritz, you can delete this. This is your document, but it was just as an example here. And here, talking about the challenges, maybe sending a pre-survey when the invitation comes, saying, giving some kind of perk or promising some kind of perk for people that actually fill it out. Could be interesting to start the meeting with already kind of a mapped out some of the key challenges they have. That obviously through talking, through the conversation, in the webinar is actually going to have much more richness and color, but being prepared. I'm sure you already planned for this, but I just thought it could be good to mention. Okay, let's follow up on this in any way I can be helpful, and I'll always look into this kind of stuff and catch up soon. Okay.